What's going on, everyone? You're welcome once again to David Data channel. And on today's video, we're continuing our DBT series on how to use DBT tests, how to test and debug your models. Okay, if this is your first time, I'm really excited to have you join the community. Please, I'd like you to hit the like button and the subscribe button, and also the notification bell so you can be notified once a new video drops in. And also, don't forget to share your thoughts in the comment section below. Alright, so we have a playlist on DBT, and you can check out our playlist and catch up on other parts of the tutorial. Okay, so we've learned how to create our DBT models and all that stuff, right? But then a critical part of DBT is tests, right? Data testing today is very important because we want to be sure that we have our data in the right format, in the right way it should be, and also help us to uphold data integrity and data quality. So what are DBT tests? Tests are assertions you make about your models and other resources in your DBT project. It could be your sources, your seeds, or your snapshots. So you make some assertions, simple assertions like, oh, your customer table always has a unique ID, and that column is always unique. Assertions like, oh, the unique ID or your customer ID in your customer table is never null, right? Assertion like your orders table can only have two types of products, which is bag and shoes, right? Those are assertions, right? So DBT tests are basically assertions that they help you test those assertions you know about your data or your model, so that once something wrong is coming in, it can flag it off. And then this is true for your sources, your seeds, and also your snapshots. Okay, and we run DBT we to okay. The command we use to run our test is dbt test. Just as we have dbt run, dbt snapshots, dbt doc generate, right? Dbt doc serve, or dbt serve rather. We also have dbt test. Dbt will tell if each test in your project passes or fails, right? So if you have a uniqueness test, for example, your SQL query would be asking it to return rows that are duplicates based on your unique ID, right? Based on your unique field, that sort of a thing. Everything in DBT SQL queries, including your test as well, right? So if you are said, like I said, if you are said that the column is unique in a model, the test query fails on that when they are duplicates. If you are said that the column is never null, the test seeks after nulls, right? If the test returns 0 filling rows, it passes and your assertion has been validated, right? So all right, so there are two types of tests in DBT, or there are two ways of defining your test in DBT. We have a singular test and a generic test, right? So singular test is simplest form of writing your test. So you have a simple query that checks for duplicates in your data, right? So you can take that query and put it in your test directory, right? In your DBT test directory, call it whatever you want to call it. So let's say we create a file here, and let's say we call it customer uniqueness test .sql. So you take your normal query, the query you write to return duplicates, you put it in here and save it, and then you call dbt test on this model, and it returns whether a test is passed or failed, right? A simple example we have here is this: assets total payment amount is positive. So if I copy this query and let me create another file, so I'm just going to call this what's it called? I'll just call it test file, but you should give your singular test what's it called? You should give your singular test descriptive names, right? Okay, so I'm going to change this to stage payment since I don't have a fact payment on this our test DBT project. All right, so it says select order ID, sum of amounts from stage payment, group by one, group by order ID, having not total amount greater or equal to 0. In other words, if there are values that are less than 0, it's going to fail the test. In other words, this query is looking for values that are less than 0, right? So negative values. In other words, okay, amount. Oh, sorry, I highlighted that total amount, that's the problem. Yeah, so So this query is going to bring out rows where total amount is less than 0, but we don't have any rows where total amount is 0, so is less than 0, so we have zero rows returned. And so this stuff can tell us that, oh, this test is successful. So if we save this right now and then we do a dbt test, so we select the specific model, test file, so you see dbt is running this test. See, test succeeded, right? Test succeeded, meaning that there is no negative value in there. So really, this is what your singular test is like. You come in your test folder, create this test for each of these your models and do that. But then there's another test we call generic test. Now generic tests are tests that you get to use over and over again. Just that the idea of macros, if you have 5 tables and each of these tables have unique IDs, and these unique IDs, these IDs are supposed to be unique, so you have to put a uniqueness test there. You wouldn't want to create files for each of these tables one by one and say unique test for customer, unique test for order, and stuff like that, because you're now beginning to duplicate stuff, right? You could use them over and over again, and so that's where macros comes in, right? And this is where our generic test comes in. And thankfully dbt has done lots of the work for us, so that for this macro not null that takes 2 parameters, model and column name, it just says that select start from model where the column name, or that particular column name, is not null, and then you end the test or you end the macro. Now this has been done for us by dbt, and then we can specify this in our YAML file, right? Just the same way we added our models and description to our YAML file, we can also add tests to our YAML file. Now dbt comes out of the box with 4 generic tests defined: unique, not null, accepted values, and relationship tests, right? Uniqueness test for uniqueness on the column, not null test for that there are no null values there. Accepted values, this particular column can only take 3 kinds of values. So let's say the only products you have in your database is only shoe and bag. So if there's a shirt, that's a wrong data, so it doesn't take that in, right? And then we also have relationship tests that checks for relationship between several tables. So you may see a orders ID has a relationship with payment table, right? That kind of a thing. The relationship between the payments table and the orders table using the orders ID, right? Because the order made on the order ID, payment is made to it to that order ID on the payments table. That's the way thing. So let's go to our dbt project. So on our staging file, I had some tests here defined already when we're setting it up. So we can see name of our table, raw customer. In this our table, we have a column called ID, there's description on the table, and then we have tests. So because dbt has done this already, I just put my test not null, I put my test unique. So once I do dbt tests, dbt runs these queries on this table. If I go to my raw orders as well, I have my ID column. So instead of writing several files in here, I just come to my YAML file, schema.yaml file, and define my tests, right, with this macro. Really straight to the point. So if we run dbt tests, let's run all our tests for us, and then we'll see what it looks like. So this way you can, so it says I have 17 tests running, 17 tests defined. You can see accepted values for stage orders, right? If we check the details, you can see the query in here is saying that where field value is not placed, shipped, completed, returned pending, and returned. So these are my accepted values for this column on this my stage order, on my status column in my stage orders table, right? So if there's any status comes in different from these 5 status, it fails it, right? The test fails. So this is how you can manage data quality in your data warehouse and ensure that your data is consistent and you have the total control of what is going on in your data, right? So you see, even the test file we did was also run as well. So this is really how to use dbt test. And then you can also build custom tests yourself using macro, or you can leverage the package, the dbt package library. We have dbt expectations, right? You have dbt great expectations, right? Yeah, great expectations. And you also have dbt utils as well. No, this is dbt package hub. So we'll talk about dbt packages soon. Yeah, so in here you would find this dbt expectation. Yeah, so we have dbt utils, we have dbt expectation. So we'll talk about it when we talk about packages, right? So for now, I hope you got a thing or two out of this video. All right, so cheers till we meet in the next video. Bye bye.